Well, thanks very much, everyone, for coming to another episode of Tea with Trailblazers. Today, I am very, very excited to have Stephanie Betters with us of Left Main REI. Stephanie, hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes. So, Stephanie and I met at Dreamforce 2022. We were at a
Sure.
session on how to use Twitter for with Salesforce for support and networking, and who knew what was about to happen with Twitter. So we'll see.
Oh, it's so funny.
We'll see. Poor Eric. But one of the reasons I want to have us, so Stephanie and I just were waiting, we were sitting together before the session and got to chatting, and I just thought this is a really impressive woman, and I just want everyone to hear this story. So I've pulled up your LinkedIn, and we're going to briefly tell the LinkedIn story of your life. So,
Uh-oh.
so Stephanie, so Stephanie started off at about 5 years old as a registered nurse, and then she became a nurse practitioner. She then, in all her spare time, founded a real estate investment firm. She then went back to school to become a nurse practitioner. Oh no, she was already a nurse practitioner. Sorry, so she became a nurse practitioner. Then she became CEO of a social media company for real estate investment, and then another real estate investment firm, and then a Salesforce consultancy, and now she's the CEO of Left Main REI. Um, I mean, I don't even know how to start. That's pretty incredible. So, how did you go from being an R? Actually, and I left something out. I left it at the very bottom. She started off as an EMT before she became a nurse. So, little tie in there. I used to work for the paramedic service in Toronto. Did that for
Oh,
9 years. I
oh, I
was
think we talked about that. I forgot about it, but now you say that, I
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
I was a dispatcher for 9 years. So how do you go from being an RN to being a I don't even know, a real estate an entrepreneur, real estate investor, Salesforce consultant? How does this all happen?
Oh, okay. So, well, I will start with that. This was never in my wheelhouse. I never thought this would happen. This very much organically happened, one step at a time. So it's kind of funny to look back and be like, "Whoa, the journey's been really interesting." But back in high school, I knew that I wanted to go into medicine. I don't really know why I knew that. I have kind of these moments in my life that I just consider like these are just God moments. I don't know. I just got this just got dropped in my brain. Needed to go into medicine. No one in my family is in medicine. Actually, ironically enough, both of my parents are entrepreneurs, but really never encouraged that at all. My dad is in the tech space and has been for a while. Really never knew what was happening with him there. It was a bit kind of like what he did. He never shared it really, other than like he's going to work. And my mom is has her own company for real estate design. And anyway, they're just like, yeah, you go to school, get a good job, you know. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go into medicine. So while I was in undergrad studying nursing, I started working as an EMT. I both worked on campus as an EMT, and then I got a job, in the local city in upstate New York as an EMT. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I have a weird illness where I like emergencies. I'm sure you understand. Like it's just a thing. Anyway, I met my husband in undergrad. Oh, what? I think you're muted.
You're correct. I said we need people who do. So
I know, right? Thank goodness we're all different. But anyway, so in undergrad studying nursing, I end up meeting my now husband. And we were kind of at this stage in our life where we just didn't know really what to do. We were really young. I graduated college at 21 and got married essentially 2 months afterward. At that point, I really didn't know what I wanted other than I just wanted to work as a nurse. And I was excited about starting a family with my new husband. And he was kind of at this crossroads where he wasn't sure if he wanted to go to med school. He was pre-med when I met him, or if he wanted to go to PA school. And we were kind of weighing what that would look like in our lives in either direction. I didn't care either way. I was just excited to be together and we would do whatever adventure came ahead.
mhm.
I started working as a nurse and he was working as a CT tech and kind of trying to figure out which direction he wanted to go in after undergrad. As soon as I started working as a nurse, I was like, oh shoot, I should have gone to med school. Like, darn it. The delivery of care is extraordinarily important, but I was so much more interested in the why and the just kind of like the pharmacology of everything, the pathology. I was very interested in that. So I was like, well, shoot, okay, now I'm married. I'm really excited to have babies. Like, I'm not going to restart now and go to med school. So I'm going to go to NP school, nurse practitioner school. So my husband and so I started, he got accepted into a PA program. He decided to go that way. We both went to the same school. He went to school for PA. I went to school for NP. We're living on Long Island. And, kind of in this period of time, we didn't have any money, right? So we bought a foreclosed house in '07, right after we got married, and fixed it up, lived in it, fixed it up, and flipped it essentially. A year and a half later, we sold it literally right before like everything fell out, the
Mm.
market crashed. So we were really, really lucky in that sense. But that's where kind of like the real estate bug came in. We're like, oh, okay, we can, like, there's something here. But, obviously still interested in pursuing a medical career. Um, anyway, my husband wanted to do more real estate. And I said, okay, well, we can do it again, but I never want to live in a house that we're flipping again, because that was really, really challenging with sheetrock,
Mhm.
like no doors in our house. And we had a baby in grad school, our firstborn. So I was like, we're not doing this with kids. That was hard enough as, two kids ourselves. Anyway, moved to Charlotte, North Carolina with the intention of continuing to grow our medical careers after graduation from grad school and doing some real estate. And that's basically what happened. We had a couple more kids. We have three now total. We launched our medical careers. He worked urgent care, loved it. I landed my dream job in heart surgery, like just doing our thing. And we're like, okay, we'll start with the real estate thing again. Super long story short, we launched our investment company really with the intention of buying more rentals, and then it turned into, we really needed to raise more capital in order to buy more rentals, because again, we didn't have any money. We had $200,000 in debt, and we were trying to figure out how to break out of that and have long-term wealth building, really. So we bought a couple properties with a HELOC on our house, and like tried to do some creative stuff, and decided, okay, we need to flip more houses, and we need to have more of a professional stance here to raise more money while we're working our W-2 job, which is not translating into a lot of excess, and go from there. So a real estate investment company was born. Technology in the real estate space is really embarrassing. I hate to admit it, it's really bad. There are some hedge funds that have developed some very close vested proprietary software based on MLS and things like that. But really, outside of those very proprietary things, there's really crappy software. It's really challenging to manage leads, manage sales, manage properties, transaction manage. There's essentially nothing that was really good. There are a couple kind of small time software companies that were born, again, like they kind of fall flat after a certain point of professional growth.
Mhm.
And then there are some adaptations to other CRM softwares, like Pipedrive was one, kind of
Mm.
small, not really perfect. It's more, I mean, you can do some sales with it, but it's more so like project management. Same thing with another company called Podio. So the whole real estate investment industry is kind of in this like infant tech stage. And, I'm working full time in heart surgery, can't take like stupid inefficiencies. I'm used to high technology. I'm used to algorithmic thinking, and then over here, my spare time, we're dealing with like, banging rocks together and paper and pen. It was just like, this is so silly. So it got to a point in our real estate company that we were spending a lot of money on marketing, and I couldn't tell you whether or not it was working. And when you start spending six figures in marketing alone, and you don't know if it's working, that's a really unstable feeling. Like,
Mm.
that was really, really challenging and extremely heart wrenching, because we're personally all in on this company trying to get it to launch, and like, it had to work, right? So basically, I just snapped one day. I was just like, I need better technology. I wish it was like sexier. But they were just like, I've had enough. And I'm like, what's the number one CRM in the world? I'm done dealing with these little time things that break and aren't full solutions for me. So as you know, indisputably, that's Salesforce. And I started going down that Salesforce route. Had a bunch of calls with SIs and SEs to try to put together something custom for real estate, because there really wasn't anything. There isn't, besides right now, obviously Left Main has a solution that we can get to, but there wasn't anything there. So I went through a huge discovery process with SEs and SIs and got to the end, and it was just so expensive, like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a build. And like we couldn't afford that. We couldn't afford that. And we couldn't wait 6 months. We needed something now. So I had another kind of like snap moment, and I was just like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to figure this out myself. So I did. I bought like a super old course from Salesforce Classic, learned a little bit about how to build with process builders, then learned flows, and essentially taught myself how to do anything. And then essentially it took me 3 months, and I built our entire solution and launched it for our company. So that was really cool. That was in I didn't know anything about certifications, or I mean, I didn't know this world at all. So I'm just going to teach myself how to do it. And then, one of the Salesforce AEs that was, part of this discovery with me, with talking to SEs and SIs, followed up with me about a month after we had launched and, migrated completely to the platform and we were using it. She said, hey, I'm just checking in on you. Did you change your mind about hiring developers? Where do you want to go with this? And I said, oh, no, I did it. I did it myself. It's all done. And she's like, what? And it's like, yeah, you can stop following up with me. Like, it's okay. Take me out of your drip sequence. I'm good for now. And she's like, well, before I do that, do you mind if I see it? And I was like, okay, sure. I'll show it to you. Like, if that's what, whatever. She's nice. I'm like, and you'll stop calling me. So, okay. Um, and so I showed her the solution on a Zoom call, and her name's Allie. I mean, I don't even know why this happened, but it's just another one of those moments of like, whoa, a whole door opens to a new life space. But she said, this is really good. Do you think anyone else in the real estate industry would want it? I was like, well, I don't know. I actually never even thought about that. This was just for us. And she said, I really want to introduce you to our partner team. And I think you really have something here. And I was like, well, what is the partner team? I don't know what that is. Anyway, long story short, I got connected. We negotiated a really amazing contract. We're OEM partners, and then we recently also got ISV partner contracts too. And we launched. We started just grassroots marketing to some of the people in my personal network, showing them what we had built. They loved it. They started telling more people. And then 18 months later, we have 500 new logos on our product, and it's a whole thing. It's amazing. We've kind of pushed off a lot of the other industry specific CRMs, like those little ones. Now we're the leading CRM provider for the real estate industry, which is like, whew, it's been a wild ride. I left medicine in May this year. But very bittersweet for me because I love it so much. But time schedules for medicine, especially surgery, like
Hmm.
I was never home. I have this huge opportunity with our real estate company, which continued to flourish and do really well. Now Left Main launched and is doing really well, and I felt that I would never forgive myself if I didn't really capture this opportunity and do something on a large scale. So then I can be home with my family more, which is really important. Now my
Yeah.
children are older. They notice when I'm gone. They're sad when I'm at the hospital for 17 hours.
Mhm.
So I've put that on the back burner now, and we'll see where I am in like 5 or 10 years. I may come back on a part-time basis just because it's a big part of who I am. But now my whole life is centered around real estate and technology.
Wow. That's just an incredible story. I was thinking as you were talking, I've heard of, and I call myself this, I've heard of accidental admins. I've never
Yeah.
heard of an accidental ISV.
It's
'Cause
kind of crazy.
that's just incredible. So, um, well, actually, we should tell people because I didn't know, although it seems obvious in retrospect. Why left main? What does left main mean?
Do you have a hint? You
Oh,
have a
I already
guess?
know. You told me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Left main is the name of your of the coronary artery. Left main coronary artery. That's your lifeline, and that's the vessel that we almost always bypass if you have open heart surgery. Um, so I don't want to get into too much nuance there, but it's an extremely important coronary artery. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. If you have a healthy left main, then your chance of a high quality of life is much higher. So Left Main is your real estate lifeline.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And Main is kind of like Main Street. I think it came together nice.
Right. Yeah, no, well, that's what I initially, that's what came to my mind was a Main Street sort of downtown house with a white picket fence kind of reference.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out what the left like did you when you drove home as a kid, did you have to take a fork in the road and you always went left or but no, that's fantastic. And so but then you've also branched out, I guess, speaking of branches. Um, you also have a small Salesforce consultancy. Was that just why add that to the plate? How did that come?
Yeah, so that's another really cool thing that's essentially spun off of Left Main. So my real estate company essentially produced two companies, Left Main and Social Media REI, which is a social media marketing platform, a marketing consultancy for real estate investors who are trying to advertise online. And that continues to do well. It's kind of a boutique um, marketing agency, and Left Main was born. And then when Left Main started rolling out to all these real estate investors, Salesforce is brand new to this our space because there really hasn't been a solution before eh, other than custom. So now we have all these brand new Salesforce companies like onboarding to Salesforce, and yes, the solution like is a really great product for them. But then there's a lot of people who need more too. They're like, oh, I have this really special integration I want to come in. Hey, I want to do some fun things with campaign management and even lead assignment, and I want some additional automation with notifications, all these little things, right? And some big things like, hey, I want to have this big API I want to connect to with MLS. So, our team at Left Main did a lot of that for, about a year. And it got to a point where we really needed to separate what was custom and then what was product.
Mhm.
So, we now had really great talent on the team who was really familiar with the real estate industry, really familiar with our customers, what they wanted, what they needed, and the consultancy was born. So now about 10% or so of our Left Main customers also use us for consulting. And then we also get some referrals outside of Left Main just from Salesforce directly from people looking for specific real estate customization. So it's nice. You get very talented folks over there on our team. We have some amazing talent over there now. I'm super humbled by it. But they're extremely familiar with our exact vertical, which is really refreshing for the people who choose to
Mhm.
hire us because they don't have to explain context, which
Right.
is one of the challenges of Salesforce. You come in as kind of like a small business or an industry, and Salesforce covers everything. So the person you're talking to, you have to kind of explain to them what's important and what stuff means so that they can kind of get what you need.
Right.
So
Yep.
we don't have to do that over there, and it's very specialized. So
No,
yeah,
well, I currently work in higher ed, and I had the same sort of experience just going through Trailhead. You know,
right,
all of Trailhead is geared towards sort of very traditional B2B type businesses, which is fine. I'm sure that's the bulk of their use. But
right,
then trying to translate, well, how does this apply to what we do? Because even though in admissions is sales, and we do have a sales funnel and a sales cycle, but it's very, very different types of sales. And
yes,
so a lot of the traditional things just don't translate very well. So I ended up making a lot of my own videos because it just didn't make sense to me. And some things I think they take too long to say. Uh,
I agree. Yeah, well, because we're trying to be agnostic, that people can then translate this into what it means for them. But then that takes a lot to do. It's a lot of mental energy to kind of sift through all the agnostic stuff and then make it relevant to your industry or what process you're trying to build.
yeah. So you've essentially got four companies right now. You've got the social media company, Better Path Homes, which is the actual investment company. Is that right? And then Main Dev Experts and Left Main REI, which is the uh, owns the CRM. Has Mark Cuban called you?
No. Where are you, Mark?
Where are you, Mark? We need capital.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
just
it's been cool too. I'm proud to say that, we're completely self-funded. Our I've never taken a dime from any investment company. This is all our own bootstrap results. And I do think that, we're at a point now with with the opportunity we have in just the real estate space, the attention we have from Salesforce, that I think actually, it may be time to consider VC, but I haven't done that yet. But I'm really proud of where we've come so far, just from a really organic, like very true origin. Like this is truly a need that we had, and other people have the same need, and that's so cool that if you solve a problem for yourself and your own company, like there's so many other people that can benefit from your problem being solved. And if that's like videos on YouTube where people can find you, or custom trails, or maybe even an ISV product, right? It's really cool to know that you're not alone, and that other people you can like really impact other businesses too, just with your own toiling and banging that you did.
Now, how do you, for those who might be watching, who might, I don't know, maybe they're like, oh, I built that thing. Maybe other people might find it useful. How did you find the process of becoming a partner in an ISV, and how did that go?
Yeah, so I don't have a ton to compare it to. It was, like you said, it was kind of accidental for me. My AE is who basically paved the way, and I feel like I skipped some steps because I just got like a meeting, and then that we were entered into negotiations, and I was approved. It was like pretty quick.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's normal or not. I
Right.
honestly don't. I
No, no.
assume I, but the process was really wonderful, and I think that Salesforce seems really intimidating. That this is like this big behemoth, the 8,000 pound gorilla.
Mm,
But everyone I've talked to over there has been super helpful. Like when you talk about, we all have our gripes, I think, with support and waiting for like a
mm,
support ticket. But like if you actually talk to somebody on the phone, or have a Zoom call, everybody is so willing to help out. And like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you with that. I can make this connection for you. I can introduce you to so and so. And it just seems so genuine. It's so wonderful to work with. I'm continually surprised by that. I'm just like, wow, thank you for being so friendly, and showing me what I need to do. So if there is a question about something that you've put together product wise, I would recommend starting with asking your core AE just for an intro, or maybe have them hear you out and see, soundboard with them a little bit and see if this is something that they've heard about, or, what you're developing would potentially be useful. And at the very least, maybe you can put something on the App Exchange and just see if you get any traction from it.
mhm.
But I would start with your AE, since they're the closest relationship that you have, and just see what they say.
Right. Okay. No, that's good advice. Well, you're obviously a very intelligent person, because I'm still blown away by your story. I just think it's so fascinating how, my life has certainly not been linear career wise. I've changed several times, but I'm just very impressed by all of this. Um, we didn't talk about this, and I don't know why I didn't think of mentioning this beforehand. So no pressure. Did you want to give a bit of a demo?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Sure. I can share
Okay.
my screen and show you guys a little bit. I'll just highlight a couple things. Again, this is a test drive account, so there's some blanks in here. So some cool proprietary things that we did outside of um, customizing like page layouts, etc., is we have some cool components. So in the real estate world, it's very much a mix of B2B and B2C. So B2B is agents working with other agents, or real estate companies collaborating with other real estate companies to get deals done, either a buyer's agent or seller's agent, or maybe just working with other investment companies and trying to co-sale things. And then there's the B2C world, where you're directly dealing with the homeowner. So it's a cool combination of really both things. So Left Main uses person accounts to deal with the B2C side, and traditional account contact relationships for the business to business side. So, for example, we have the lead object, opportunity object, campaign. We have some custom objects here that are a ton in the background. Transaction is a big one. buyers. We have a huge QuickBooks integration that we built, etc. So, looking at a lead, we have the traditional lead format, a lot of custom fields, etc., and formulas, and then we have some cool proprietary stuff that we've added to the lead. So we have something called disposition predictions. That is an ability um, to predict or to estimate an interest in this property for sale. We're basically trying to um, hook up a seller with a buyer and seeing how marketable a property is. So, for example, this property has just shy of 7,000 potential buyers for. So, if you get this property under contract or if you're dealing with this homeowner, your confidence in how quickly this property can be monetized is really affected by the number of buyers available. So that'll range from a handful of buyers to several 100,000 buyers that have, raised their hand about properties that are like this. And then buy boxes are bed bath square footage matches, etc. So you can take this property, start the process of the homeowner, and then you have access to 7,000 buyers that would be interested in this property. Another cool thing that we did here is we have a direct mail integration. So for real estate, we do a lot of digital marketing for sure, Google ads and Facebook and things like that. But there's a huge like print marketing aspect of real estate. I'm sure you guys have seen that, where agents are mailing you things that they sold a property in your area, or reaching out to say like, hey, I specialize in this neighborhood, etc. So print is really important. So we built a direct mail, which is that letter, essentially postcards and letter integration directly in also. So for example, I can go from a campaign or, excuse me, a lead or a campaign, and I'll just select a couple here really quick, just show you and say, okay, hey, I want to mail these leads. And I'll show you, you can do it from campaign also. And I'm going to click direct mail, and it's going to put me through a direct mail builder. So it says, hey, this one didn't have a complete address. You see how this one was missing a zip? So we can say, okay, we're just going to proceed with the ones that have full addresses. So the other two that I selected did. And I can pick my template. Maybe I want to send them a postcard. And then you can create custom templates for that if you want, so you can change the text, or you can use an existing one. You can choose handwritten fonts. You can choose different font colors. Secondary font color, let's do blue. And what's cool about this too is you can grab hex codes, for your branding. And then you can select the color of the card. So I'll just pick, gray or whatever. When you generate the preview, you get a preview in your email about a minute later. And then we can see all of them here. And I can process, oops. Oh no, where'd you go? There you go. I can approve these orders after I see the preview and I like them, or I can cancel them. And the same thing can happen with a campaign object also. So let me see, I have a campaign here. So you can grab a campaign and send an entire campaign direct mail. And we monitor, response rates, ROI, etc. off of that. Opportunities is similar. We could do the same thing there with direct mail and disposition predictions. We also have some really cool cadences that we've built out for text messaging, emailing, and task follow-ups for your team. Lots of automation with putting people in different sequences for follow-up. Follow-up is extraordinarily important in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
We have some built-in calculators here, so you can figure out how much things cost based on different rehab levels of the property, and come up with maximum allowable offers. Again, lots of specific fields for property management, comps. We have an integration with Atom Data, which gives you comparables. Oh, shoot, this is my demo account. I can't quite grab it in the demo account, but basically we can grab valuations from property here, and we can stamp out Google maps with comps and what the comps sold for on every single property. So this really helps come up with valuations. The two really difficult things in real estate is figuring out what something's worth and how much it's going to take to get it to be worth the absolute most. So we've got a bunch of tools in here to help with that. along with facilitating, more sales and really tight follow up. Other cool objects. Here's a transaction. Transactions have different expenses. All that. Oh, there's $1,000 worth of crazy cats cleanup. Looks like on this one. So we can track profit. We can track expenses associated with getting this to the closing table. Fees if there's any specific legal fees. All that is being tracked down here for total expenses and what we've put into this project. And then we'll be able to calculate net profit and commissions associated with the people that are working this deal. We can log interested buyers, so people who are making offers on the property. Um, some notes about those buyers too. All that is tracked on the account contact level, so we can see that history forever. How many offers has Zach Braff ever made on our properties?
Mm-hmm.
Another little quick medicine reference. Scrubs. Anyway, so stuff like that. We also have, hundreds and hundreds of reports, lots of industry specific dashboards pre-built out from marketing, sales, transactions, dispositions, phone metrics, leadership level dashboards, all geared towards what a leadership team in a real estate industry would want. Dispositions is cool. It does a lot of the email open rates and tracking and clicks, etc., without needing Pardot or Marketing Cloud, just the native Salesforce emails. Direct mail, all monitored here with what response rates are, how much we spent, how many of those mail pieces were returned, who should we take off our list, stuff like that. And then, again, more QuickBooks and integrations there. So that's like the quick and dirty. That's of what it is, like just really super high level. It's meant to get you, 200% of the way for people who've never come across software that can be automated this way, and people who are super efficient can still find a lot of value here with things that are completely built out.
No, that's incredible. Looks great. And yeah, just congratulations on all the success. Truly, that's amazing.
Thank
Uh,
you.
well, that's great, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you again, and just congratulations again on all the success. And we'll maybe we'll find you some new customers.
For letting me come on and share my story. And customers aside, I hope that people feel compelled to just take a step forward and do something that may seem a little bit scary. And if I've learned anything from this, it's that your problem is likely not unique to you. So there's a lot of opportunity not only to solve your own problem with Salesforce, but also to solve other people's. And it's a really cool journey. So I hope people step out and try to help other people too with their solution.
It's a great encouragement. Thanks so much. Have a great day.